Somebody is asking if we will be able to see this again after the live workshop. We are recording it, and we will post it afterwards as well. Yes. All right. Well, it's 1 p.m. EDT. We're going to get things going because I see a lot of people are already with us live. And I'll just start with the introduction now. So if some people are still joining us, we'll be able to, they'll not miss anything. All right. So I'm Kata. I am going to be moderating the panel today. I'm not going to be doing the design myself because I like design and I use Ribbit and it's very helpful for me, but I am nowhere near a professional designer. So I will let somebody who is better do the designing. And Jason is the person who's going to be doing that. And the reason why he's looking at me that way is because his main background is not necessarily in design. He's more involved on the product development side for Ribbit, but he does also have a lot of experience with design, and he has certainly a lot more than me. And so he is going to be going through the features today and actually designing something from scratch. He's going to be sharing his screen, and we will be going from there. I'll let him guide you through kind of what the platform is and what he's going to be looking at in a minute. And by the way, feel free to use the chat, post questions anytime you have them. I will just pick some of them up and read them for Jason if they're relevant for the discussion. We'll post them. Well, I'll ask right away, and we'll also have a Q&A session at the end. So we'll go through some questions at the end of the webinar too. All right. It's very nice to see people joining us. We're now at 78 people live on Zoom, 80 and counting, and that's great because this is our first ever live webinar. So we were really happy to see the feedback from everybody. All right, so I will let Jason go over the platform real quick and introduce us briefly to what he's going to be going through today.
Hi, guys. This is my first webinar, so bear with me. So I am working on the production team for Ribbit for 5 or 6 years now, so I do have a good sense of what we have in front of us. And this webinar is just to provide some insight in what you can do with Ribbit. There might be some stuff that you already know. You might find something new, or at the same time, first time you've known about Ribbit, and this is kind of like an introductory. So I'm very happy that you guys are here. So what we're going to do today, and kind of give a bit of sense of what I do. I'm a designer. I'm a UI UX designer. I like to take pictures. This is something I like to do as a hobby. So in terms of tools, I will use my camera, my iPhone camera. I will use Sketch, Photoshop. I've used almost every type of tool, including Ribbit. So today what we're going to do is do a simple collage to show the type of elements and features that you can use that is available to you to do a collage. This could be a collage that you can post on your Facebook page. The other one is some quick, insightful thinking of how to improve the brightness or the lighting of your pictures. Because sometimes you can take a really good picture, proper framing, the motion is in there, but it's either too dark or too bright. Today I'm going to show you how you can kind of tweak very easily the lighting of a picture without it looking out of place. And the third one is one I have some limited knowledge, but I'm aware of the feature and I can show you guys how to use it, which is touch-up. The idea with touch-up is if, for example, your daughter has smallpox for her birthday and you have all those wonderful pictures of her and you want to remember that day and not the smallpox. So the touch-up tool would allow you to kind of erase those blemishes from those wonderful pictures. So those are 3 main points. In terms of the Ribbit platform, as you might know, there is a mobile app, both for iOS and Android. There is a desktop application, and also a web application. For the web application, you will be seeing a very big update before the end of the year, and we definitely have some surprises and some big improvements that we're looking at for the mobile app in the coming months. So if you can, they can see my screen, right, Kata?
Yes.
All right. So I'm just going to open the desktop application. And right now I jump straight into Collage because that's where I was last time, but let me just do something real quick. It's very basic, but so the first thing you would see once you actually open the application for the first time is the dashboard. So for the dashboard, I will go through this very quickly. The options that you have is you can start by uploading a photo. If you upload the photo, you can go straight into editing that photo. And you also have a grid collage where we will spend a good portion of our time. You have a shape collage, blank canvas. If you want to be artistic, you don't have something in mind, you just want to go ahead and be creative, that's a good starting point. And fancy card, this is a templated section where if you, maybe not the most creative person, but you want something really good for a special event, you can go to fancy card and actually pick templates and just upload the content that you want. And as well, obviously we have the mobile apps. So this, it's relatively straightforward. It's meant to be simple. This is not where it's Photoshop where you have to try to figure everything out. The idea is that you get in there, you have a good sense of what you want to do. So I'm going to go right into the grid collage. For the grid collage, you have many templates. You have basic, grid, big photo, jigsaw, and you have a lot of options. So pretty straightforward. You just pick the type of template that you'd like. So in this case, I'm just going to go right into it. I'm going to pick a basic template. No, not a basic. Let's go into grid. So I want to, I have some nice pictures that I actually browsed recently of my daughter, Sydney, and it was last fall. And the minute I saw it, I remembered that I wanted to do something special. So I'm taking this opportunity to do it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just deciding the type of grid that I want to pick. So there's many options. These could fit for the type of social platform you want to send. You can probably use, like, let's say a 4-grid or a 2-grid for Instagram, or you can use other types of grids that are available. I'm going to pick this one. And you can see that you can control the background color for the grid itself. You can, let's see, you can do the spacing, so you can add as much padding as you want. So you have all these options. You can adjust the proportions. You can make the padding rounded if you want. You can even be a little bit more creative and a little bit more energetic if you want. You can also add more columns. There you go. So instead of 2, you can add multiple. So in this case, for this one, I will pick 2. No, actually, hold on. 2 columns, 2 rows. I will keep the spacing to about 10. And I will remove the roundness for this one because that's just my preference. So I'm going to put it at 20 for the spacing. So the spacing is what you see between the pictures. And for any project that you start as a canvas or as a collage, you can in advance upload all the images that you want. That's available here. All you have to do is click upload, and then you can pick it from your desktop or even here as well, where you can actually, from the application, go into photos and then actually have a library based on the social platform that you're logging in. So Facebook, Google, Flickr, those ones would be more the popular ones. So I'm just going to go back. So here I'm a bit prepared. I have the picture of my daughter right here. So I'm just going to pick the first one. And I'm just going to drag all of these because I know the order I want them to be. Oops, made a mistake. That's fine. I can drag that photo back to this one. and I'll just drop it here. So these are the 3 pictures. You'll see what I'll be doing with the 4th one. But obviously, the idea here is that I have my daughter that's about a year and a half old, and she's drinking coffee, which is not coffee. It's actually just warm milk. I think that would be a bad parenting tip, but it is warm water from our famous coffee spot. So she likes to see us actually drink coffee, so we gave her some warm milk. She was really happy about it. So just getting the images is relatively quick. The idea here is, from a design perspective, one of the advice I do look at is trying to look at the framing of each and every cell. So you do have some options here that you can decide to change the mirror. In this case, we're not going to flip it, but sometimes the different angles can make a difference. It kind of looks better. And you can also zoom in into the pictures. So this is good. So one of the things I do want to do is I don't want to focus on any type of branding in terms of the actual chair that we got her. So I just want to get that out of the frame. I want to move it down a bit so her head is not cut off. And then I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm just going to make a quick adjustment as well here. So you can see that you can zoom in, you can move the pictures the way you want them. And I'm going to come here, and just because she's a bit smaller here compared to this, I just want to balance that out so it all fits perfectly. I tend to be very picky, like the height here of the head, I like to have it at the same position. Easier to follow. So you're kind of telling a story, so you want to look at how to get that person to look from one collage to the next as easily as possible. So already, if you look at this, I did get a bit of preparation, but I was able to do this in 1, maybe 2 minutes. Originally, it took me 3 minutes. So it's just a question of adjusting the pictures the way you want them. Now, just to give you a bit of a sense, I can play with this and make it a little bit more kooky, yeah, a little bit more fun. I can adjust the spacing where I want to have more padding as well. And in terms of, let's say, each cell, I can round them up if I want to. But this one, I'm just going to keep it simple. I will make the background white. But what I find in terms of framing, what's actually good as well is if you want to pick a color, you can go ahead and look at the picture and pick a color that's straight from the actual images. Sometimes it's a good reference. It kind of helps you pick a color that will work with the images or the pictures that you have. So you can just go right ahead. We can pick this color on the little flower on her military jacket. You can see it looks really nice. But for just sake, I'm just going to keep it white. So simple collage, 3 images. I put them all together. Obviously, she's cute. And I don't have to do a lot of work with the pictures at this point. So I'm just going to say I'm done. Once I'm done, I am in the edit mode. So I am technically, at this point, finished with picking the pictures that I want and then deciding if I want to make any modifications straight to this picture. So I'm going to be using the text, which is one of the elements that you can use. And the idea is that I want to say Sydney's first quotes. And I'll explain afterwards why I'm just putting quotes. Press add, and I have the text. Though it's white, obviously it's disappearing at this very moment. Let's move cut a bit out of the way. And now it's black, so I'll pick a color black. All right, so right now I got the text itself. I'm looking at this, I'm going, all right, I want to align center the text so it looks a little bit more clean and easier to read. I want to just resize it a little bit smaller. It's always good to have a bit of padding when you have text with all the other elements so it doesn't feel too bundled together. And at the same time, because it is a little toddler, this text seems a bit plain. What I'm going to do is look for a text that's a little bit more fun and, let's say, legible. So I have this one I really do like. It's the Amatic small caps. I'm going to put it on, and there you go. So it'll probably be size. That's fine. All we have to do is make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to adjust it very quickly. And I'm going to look at it and say, all right, am I happy with that? I'm probably going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, now I'm going to make a quick edit here. I'm just going to put a little bit more space here for the quotes. So the reason for the quote is, at this point, what I like to do is add another element to this collage, which I can. So I picked an element from outside of Ribbet. You do have options, I'll show you very shortly. You have stickers, we have ready-made available elements that you can drag and drop into it. For this one, I picked a custom design. I have the picture, I'm gonna drag it in.
Quick question, Jason, from somebody.
Yep.
Can you make a picture in the collage smaller, as in opposite to zooming in?
Yes, but it depends on the frame. So if you have a picture based on the width, you can't zoom too small so that it doesn't fill the whole collage.
And you can also use the
dimensions.
Yeah, and I'm guessing you can also use the padding, basically increase the padding, and that'll make the photo smaller.
Yeah, you have that option. Yes.
Cool.
So I'm just going to take this. So it's obviously Sydney's first coffee. We're going to put it right here. And again, anybody that's joining in right now is going, what is going on? No, this kid, this baby.
Yeah, not drinking coffee.
Not drinking coffee.
It's not real coffee, it's water.
Not real coffee. It's cute. It definitely gets people to laugh and find it's cute, but I promise it's only warm, organic milk for sure. So in terms of doing collage, you can use text as the way you want it. Be creative. I find that trying to keep the text as simple as possible gets the message much quicker. Initially, I said Sydney's first coffee, but then I was like, well, I can represent the coffee with a cup image, and instead of first as the full letter, I just basically use one ST. So it kind of helps things. So we have something here. It's almost done, but I wanna do something else, which is I wanna add some elements just to kind of bring a bit of the story or the emotion. We're not looking at a Steven Spielberg movie here, but I want to get the message across what's going on. Yeah. So you do have options with Ribbet to pick elements that are ready-made available, and there are seasonal, or they're based on a holiday or on a specific event. So you can see here I can pick fruits. My daughter loves bananas. I can just drag it in. Just like an image, I can resize it. I can rotate it. I can fade it if I want to. So I have a lot of options here. But bananas not on the menu right now.
Somebody's asking, how is the cup graphic imported? Is it just like any other image?
It's a PNG file or a JPEG.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just take the image and put it in, and it's not a problem.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to go quickly. I'm going to just pick a star. And
those stickers are the ones you used earlier. Do you know if they're premium or in the free version?
So some of them are premium, and some are free that are available.
So
like
right,
this one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
No, I was just going to mention for everybody that right now we're going to use mostly free features. We're also going to be using some Ribbet Premium features. A lot of people here who are watching are probably have a premium account, so they see access to everybody. The point is, whether you have a premium account or a free account, it's you'll be able to create really nice images just fine. Premium is just for people who are like really, like Jason with the storytelling through the images and what you were saying earlier. So people who really want to take it another level higher and make them really professional.
But you are telling a story.
Yeah, no. I mean, I agree. I wish that I could do this better. The webinar is actually for me too. I want to get better at making images look professional.
Well, what's important is that the tools are there to help you be creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Ribbet, there are available tools and content that you can use and utilize, which is great. But everybody is the artist. Everybody comes in with their own creative aspect.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
let me pick quickly a star. I'm just going to drag this here. One sec. Yes, I have to click on it. Now I have the options. I'm going to pick this picture, this star. So same thing. I can resize it. I'm going to rotate it. My daughter is my little star, so we're going to pick a nice bright yellow. And then the other one is I'll pick some hearts. I'm going to skip a beat here. I'm just going to grab a couple of hearts here. I'm going to bring this one down here. Again, just rotate. And then I'm going to pick a color very quickly. There you go. Nice, beautiful red.
Somebody's asking, how did you choose the color?
There's a palette right here.
Okay.
So you have an option on the right where you can essentially pick the color that you want. So I'll pick that heart up again. You can see on the right. Maybe you won't see it so well. I'll bring it closer here because you can move the interface.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see I can pick the color that I want.
Okay, perfect.
You can also put the RGB and so on. And also you have a color picker. So I can pick a specific color. Actually, why don't we do this? We'll pick this color here. And for this one, I'll pick this pink here. All right. This is where you get to pick and play around and say, do I like this? And this is where everyone's a critique. That's fine.
That's fine.
I'm my worst critique. Is that how you say it?
A critic.
Critic. Yes, I was almost there. I'm half French. Critique. All right, so I'll pick these colors for now. And I have a rogue one here. So again, I will pick another text. There's one more thing I want to do here is kind of put a question mark.
Somebody's asking, can you add shadows to the stickers?
To the stickers?
Yeah.
Not right now, but that is a plan.
Cool. One little trick though that I use with other tools too is if you want to have a shadow, what you can do is just duplicate your image. Make the second one just black or dark gray, and put it behind and just kind of move it out of the zone a little bit. You can even make it a bit transparent. So that's an easy way to add shadows. Just duplicate your image, put it behind the original image, and make it a dark and maybe even transparent color.
Kata, you could have done this.
No. That's like the one. That's like the one thing I know.
Oh, come on, the one thing, really. Okay, let me pick. I'll pick a different font for this. So the idea is that this is my little star. She's wondering what's going on, and then it turns out she loves coffee. Sydney's first coffee. So it's very simple. Whoops, I'm zooming in. Let me zoom back out. It's my mouse. All right. Let me pick a very quick text because I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's say this one. Yeah, perfect. All right, I'll pick a color here. All right. Now, we've been able to add stickers, creating a collage. We've been able to add text. There are other options where you can use elements as well that are available. You can see based on for each one, you will see that this is a premium account. You're always going to see a sticker that says this is premium. Kata, it's if you get a free trial, you have access to the premium features as well,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
I remember now. Yes. Okay. But one thing here, just because you can do it, and I want to show it to you, and I prefer doing this, I'm going to go into effects, and I'll show you something you can do, which is you can pick effects for the actual collage, for the pictures overall. So you can see you have a lot of options. You can see a lot of them actually are non-premium. And you can see which ones are. So you have good selections for the non-premium one. I'm going to keep it simple. for me, simple is the rule that I have when it comes to design. So I'm going to click this, and then you can see the elements are sticking out a little bit better. It feels a little bit more like a memory, more than an actual event. So I can see this one. I like this. Basically what I'm saying is I like this, so I'm going to leave it like this. I can't see the question mark so much, so I'm going to tweak the color. I'll even pick this one here. Yeah. And then basically I'm generally done. If I wasn't doing this webinar, this would have taken me 10, 15 minutes. If I was under pressure, I'm a bit of a picky designer, so I would probably spend half an hour on this. But creating collage and posting it to social platform is relatively quick and easy. And I find that the interface as well is user-friendly. Obviously, if you are looking for something, the title of each section will pop up, but it won't crowd when you're not using it. The interface is always on the left side, and your options to make changes. For example, if I want to crop, they'll stay on the left side, but if needed, they'll go on the left side, on the right side if it's more advanced. I want to not crop this, so I'm going to cancel. Another thing that we're working on right now that you'll see is that for every effect I want to pick, I have to apply the effect. This is something that we're going to phase out, which is if you pick an effect you've applied, like if you want to do the fading on it, you have to apply it. The future version that's coming, we won't have that, which is as you apply, we will save it, and all you have to do is come back and either delete it or change it if you want. So you don't have to click that apply button every single time. So this would be the first one. I'm going to press save. Does anybody have any questions so far for collage? Any more?
About the collage. 1 second, because actually we have quite a bit of questions in.
Let's try to cover them.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying because I mean they're more popping up. 1 second, so I'm trying to read one. Can we compare the effects on our work within Ribbit? Not really sure what you mean.
Basically to see what was added first, and then be able to kind of, let's say if you take a picture and you make edits to it, can you see how it looks from the previous one? In this desktop application, it's very important. No. But in the mobile apps, there is a button that allows you to quickly see what you had originally done compared to where you are now. Mm-hmm. And the web platform, the one that we're currently working really hard on, will have this option as well. So you can quickly preview what you've done from what you've actually imported originally.
Okay. All right. Let's see. A couple more questions. Can you show us how to do that transparent background you just mentioned? I think they mean can you duplicate like with the shadow? I think she means.
Let's do this. So I will take, let's see. Let me grab an element. So let's see if this is going to work. So I'll grab this. 1 sec. So you can take this image, and you can see it's black. Mm-hmm. And then you can do a copy and make a second version. 1 sec. I'll take another one.
Somebody's asking, does this tutorial cover both free and premium features? I'd really like to learn how to use premium color balancing better. Thanks. Yes, it does. So we'll be looking at a lot of free features, but in terms of color balancing, I actually think this is something where Jason is going to apply some premium tools. Right, Jason?
So very quickly, you see you can have two hearts. One is black, one is colored. You can grab the one in the back, and then you can fade it out. Yeah. So it does look like a shadow. There you go. You have, on the mobile app, you have this option coming as well. So this is a work in progress, but it's going to be coming soon.
Cool.
I'm going to just decide to share this. So you do have options to go straight to sharing once you've actually added your social information. So I'm going to go straight to Facebook. I will give title, memory, my daughter's first coffee in quotes. And I'll just say warm milk. And then I'm going to press share. One sec. There you go. And I post it on Facebook. Yeah, please close tab to continue. So, done. My grandma's going to be happy about that one.
All right. A couple more questions. Can you print your creations from the Ribbet website? I think you can, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, it's really quick. You can do it from your computer as well. You can just press save, and then from your device, sorry, not from your device, from your desktop app, you can connect to your printer. So it's the same thing. It's cool. Very easy.
Cool. And for somebody's asking about premium color balancing, are we going to be looking at that too?
Yes, we can do this now, actually.
Perfect. Yes. Yes, that was also on the plan. And quickly, somebody, does the cell property window pop up automatically at each cell? I think by cell, do you mean grid collage cell? I'm not sure.
One sec. Okay. So let's see if I can answer that. Grid collage. What was the question again?
Does the cell property window pop up automatically at each cell?
Yes, yes. So let's say I do this. The cell property will show up for the one that I've selected or currently is highlighted. So I can drag this one and you can see the cell properties will come with it every single time.
Cool. Now somebody else is asking, and then we'll move on to continue some design stuff because really questions are constantly coming in. So we'll also answer more at the end of the webinar as well. But for now, one more question somebody's asking: is there a way to make an image black and white but have some things in color? Yes, I think that I think that there is a way to do that.
I think I can show. I'll show this very quickly. Right. Okay. So I'm not finished with this collage. That's fine. And if I'm not mistaken, this is more on the other end of the department, not mine, but I think that this feature is premium. Yep. So what you can do is you can go to overlay, not overlays, effects, make it black and white. And then you have effect painting. So you can click on that, you can pick the brush size, and then voila. So you can determine where on the picture should be black and white. So you can actually kind of paint in color on the black and white. And then you can also, one sec. One sec, I'm trying to get my bearings. There you go. You can go back black and white as well. Does that answer the question, I think?
Yes, yeah, that was it.
This is a great fun tool, actually. I've used this a couple times myself. I think I've even seen on the Ribbet corner, the Facebook Ribbet corner, that someone has been doing that as well, and it looks really nice.
Cool.
So, all right, so I'm going to just jump right to the next point, which is, what was the question again, just to make sure I can cover it?
Just color balancing.
Okay, so I'm not going to say this one. That's fine. Goodbye. So I'm going to pick another grid collage. I am going to take two cells. And what I'm going to show here is a picture of my wife and my son at a trip to London that we've gone last year. And it's a great picture, or great pictures, but what I found was that the picture was a bit dark. So this is my wife, Laura, and this is my son, Paul. All right, so I'm going to go straight to done. Color balancing can be a long conversation, or at least there's a lot of things that we can cover. But what you have to know is you have to follow your gut instinct. So if you look at this picture, it's a beautiful picture, but for me, what I noticed is that there's a lot more light in the background. So you can see the London Bridge in the background, but there was no sunlight, or at least not enough light to kind of put in the foreground my son and my wife. So nice picture, but what do I do at this point? So the first thing you can do is go into basics. And the first thing you can see is you have an option called auto exposure. You can try that out if you want. It works sometimes, it doesn't. It takes someone to actually do this, and kind of, it would be normal for you to actually experiment with this. So you have an option called here exposure, highlights, shadows, and contrast. Contrast is just going to bring some of the darker or the lighter aspects of your picture. So for example, if I want more contrast, you're going to see that the darker spots are going to get darker. Or if I go into the contrasts, it's going to get grayer. So what I want to do here is not touch this just yet. I can tweak it to the very fine details. I'm just going to leave it at 0 for now. Because right now my problem is lighting. So for exposure, what I want to do is to kind of bring up the brightness a bit. I can go the opposite way and get it darker, which is not what I want to do, or I can go the opposite way. And you can see already that we can actually see better the two individuals in the picture. That's where we want to put the focus on. So exposure will just provide more light into the image that you have. Now you can go all the way to the max. That doesn't make any sense. So rule of thumb is, when you use these type of advanced features or these type of settings, is don't go overboard. Just tweaking it a little bit will be enough. So I'm just going to go back to 0. And all I'm going to do is just nudge it to about 14 here, if you can see. I can keep going. That's too bright. It's too washed out. So I'm just going to go back. I'm going to leave it to about 18 here. Now what I want to do is go into contrast. And what I want to do is, because it's now brighter, or at least there's more white in my image, what I want to do is add a little bit more dark to it. So what I'm going to do is just nudge until you can see that I balance out the white and the dark in my image. So you can see the difference already. Do you see it, Kata?
Yeah.
So just as a quick reference, all right, I will pick this one. One sec. Where are you? I do want to show the difference. So even that question previously about being able to compare, this is something we're aware of. Just that you can see already the big difference.
Yeah.
So this is very simple. 2 options: exposure, contrast. Tweak it. Start with the exposure first, so you can adjust what it is that you want to adjust, which is to make it brighter, and then use the contrast to kind of balance out the darkness. If you want to make it darker, go for contrast first, and then use exposure to balance out the white. Now, I can say this is very easy, very quick. I will apply it. But one thing that I do see in this picture, it does feel a bit cold. It is London. It was fall. So you can see a lot of colors are blue. There's no warmth to it. So one more thing you can do is go into colors. And what you can do is you can go into saturation, which is it's just going to make the image colors more vibrant. And I'm just going to tweak it. Let me go crazy on this. So you can see I can really bring it up to the notch, but doesn't feel right. So the idea is that you just want to nudge it just enough so that my wife's skin is not so white. And I'm just going to bring a bit of color, not too much. And then temperature, I can go blue, which is colder, or I can go warmer. So what I want to do here is just adjust it, just to add a bit of color in the skin right there. And that's it. So you do have colors, you have exposure. These are non-premium features, which is fine because if you know how to use this or you've practiced enough, they're very useful tools in the end, especially for people just wanting to make some quick optimization to their pictures. There's some options here for sharpness and clarity. If you see in this image, even the weather or the type of atmosphere that you had at the time, you can see, I'm sorry, I'm not used to this Mac computer. Got this one just for this beautiful webinar. I don't think you can see it well, but because there was a bit of coldness and a bit of humidity in the air at the same time, just because we're beside the Thames River, it does feel a bit softer in terms of the actual picture. So what you can do here is, if you want to sharpen, I don't think you guys will be able to see it, but you can, I'll bring it to the max. You can really sharpen the picture in terms of the pixels, but I would just bring it to about 6. And then clarity, you can see you can kind of play more with the contrast as well. I'm going to leave it to that. So this would be a very basic approach to balancing out the colors with some basic tools. It's a question of practice and also your opinion on how you want the picture to look at.
Somebody's also asking, can I lighten up only a part of the picture? In this case, just the person's and not the whole picture.
Not on this one, not for the tools that we have now, but that is again something that's in the pipeline.
Yeah. So not with like those basic tools, but one of the things that you can do as an alternative to that is, if you go into the face touch-up tools, you have those different brushes that you can use that basically do the same thing. You just it lightens up the image or makes it darker. So you can use those as an alternative if you just go into the face touch-up tools.
So in the touch-up tool, which is funny because I actually played with this on this picture, because there are a lot of options that we're going to cover in the next part. But what I do think is practical, especially for my son, because he has white, pale skin, even during the summer. So if I want to add a bit of color, there's this sunless tan option that you can pick. And then you can use the brush to kind of just add a bit of color to that person.
Yeah, and somebody else was asking oh, that's really cool. That's great. Somebody else was asking kind of a similar question, which is, can you select the yellow or the green? I'm guessing he means like Paul's shirt, and tweak that so it isn't like that. Yeah, so it's kind of the same, but you can use those tools to tweak the colors with the brush, basically. You
can. I would say at this very moment it's a bit limited, but being able to, they're absolutely right, that green was bothering me as well. At this very moment we don't support that, but it is part of the upcoming features that we're working on.
Cool. And somebody's out asking if we'll be showing the cloning tool. I don't know if you had that in mind for this one.
Yes, I can show you quickly the cloning tool with the next one. Just kind of a quick idea of how to use it. Because the cloning tool is, I'll cover it in the next one, but this takes time and patience and also confidence to use it, be able to pick what's good and what's not. But yes, I think we can move on to the next one. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's see, one sec. Just trying to reorient. Let me go to start. I'm not going to save this because I already have a version of it saved, so I'm just going to say, I love my children, I love my wife, but I can live without this picture. All right, so the next one, just a quick note. In terms of touch-ups, I may not be the best person doing this. It's not something I do on a regular basis. But what I can do is show you guys what you can do and see some results from using those
Yeah,
options.
I think that's anyway. I think everybody is going to use it in different ways, and
Yeah.
like some people are going to be really good at using it. It's just a matter of practice anyway.
So the tools are there. I spent about an hour and a half playing with this, and it's one section of this whole platform that I didn't particularly use either on regular or on a general basis. But what you're going to see is you do have a lot of options to actually fix, tweak, optimize. I don't know. Like even if I want to have a picture of myself, obviously there's some freckles that I'm not happy with. I got some spots that I'm like, okay, I like to get that out of the way. You can. So this is a photo stock picture I picked from someone online. So the one thing I want to show off right off the bat, because it's very easy and it's a simple tool and it's not premium, is the mouth whitening. So you can do a touch-up on the teeth. So one thing I like to mention is I did read an article or a blog, not a blog, but a research, or at least like facts, that said that it's quite normal for people to have yellow teeth. That's actually natural and normal.
Yeah.
But in this case, if you did want to whiten your teeth because it's your 40th birthday or it's the graduation day, you want to look better, you can. So you have the teeth whiten, you can use the brush size, you can also decide how white you want it to be. So you have natural and brighten. I'm going to go with natural for now. I'm going to keep it at about 20%, and I hope you guys will be able to see this. But it's very easy, very quick.
I think it's noticeable. I can tell the difference.
Yeah. 2 seconds. Now it's not like a revolutionary tool, but it does the job right off the bat. I'd feel more I'd feel better of a picture with me with these white teeth than I have right now. So that's quick. So I'll apply this. So the thing about doing touch-ups with skin is naturally everyone's skin is different and it's not perfect, except if you're a 2-year-old or a newborn son or you've never been outside, didn't get any freckles. So there are some tools you can use and you can get adjusted. I'm going to show one that I found was very useful and very easy to cover specific types of blemishes, which is the Blemish Sticks. And the feature is very simple. You have a brush size. I'm going to pick something a little bit bigger. And I'm going to zoom right in. So the Blemish Fix is good for dark spots. So like these little freckles here, or let's say some pimple scars and that sort of thing. And all I have to do is click, and it's almost gone. You can see that freckle is gone. I can click on this one, it's gone. I can click on this one, it's gone. So you can see that already very easily, very quickly. You can remove some blemishes from skin relatively quick. Scars, freckles, pimples works, but I would be careful how much you apply to it. But you can already see that I'm clearing his face, just like Clarisil. Now, the tricky part about doing touch-ups is going too far. And you can spend all day doing this and just trying to get rid of all the irregularities.
Irregularities, yeah.
There you go, thank you. But then it'll feel too clean. So the question is to not go too far. So you can see I've gotten most of the freckles out, but he does not, Bruce doesn't need to be perfect. We love him for who he is. All right.
Somebody's also saying, fun fact, sometimes I use the teeth whiten as a highlighter, and it really works very well. That's a good tip. That's nice.
It is. A lot of these tools, you can use it for different purposes. It's probably tagged as this feature, but yes, I actually used different features for different purposes. So, all right. So for the blemish, freckles, dark spots, small spots, where you can just go right ahead and just go tap, click, click, and you're done. So far, I didn't get rid of all the stuff. I got the red spots here, and we're going to go into that. So this is the Blemish Fix. I'm applying it. And I'm going to show the clone feature. So this is a pro, this is a premium feature. You got options for burning, dodging, but I only have time to show clone. So clone, what it does, if you don't know what it does, is you can pick where, what it is that, what pattern that you want to copy to somewhere else. So I'm going to do something very quick. I'm going to, in this case, I have a crosshair. I'm clicking on this patch of skin. And then you can see I have a green crosshair that says that on this brush, whatever I'm going to click on, it's going to copy this. So just to be a bit freaky,
Oh, okay.
this is one I really know.
All right.
Okay. So it's a powerful tool. It could be a scary tool in this case.
Yeah, great tip for Halloween photos.
You Control Z or Command Z to go back. All right. So what you want to do in this case, when you want to use this feature, is when you have situations where, like for example, these two pimples, they're bright in terms of there's a bit of light reflection on it, and it's a bit red as well. Using the blemish, I want to show you guys what would happen if I use the blemish. One sec, where is it? Okay, I'm going to put it here, but I can't cover it all. And you can see that you're going to be able to notice that I've done something here. Yeah, you can still see that dot. So this doesn't work. So I'm going to cancel this. So the clone tool, the idea is that you can use it in a large patch, but what I find that's very practical is that you don't go too far with it. You make the brush size a bit smaller. So don't go to about 100 or 300. Go to about 20 or so. Again, it's based on your judgment and what you're comfortable with. I find 20 to be good. So what I want to do is I want to copy or clone this patch of skin because it looks good, it looks clean. I'm going to click on there, and what I want to do is, voila. And you can see it's the difference. Pimple, no pimple. So on the first try, that looks great. Now if I go here, I have a smaller pimple. I'm going to get rid of that. Boom. The trick here is not having a pattern where people can see, like say for example, I do this. Yeah. Then you're gonna see a pattern where you can see the distortion. So what you want to do here is, let me redo this. You go in. All right. You go small. Readjust where you want it, and then do this. And if you're going to go do this one, change the position to the other side and do this. So there's going to be less of a pattern happening. If you just follow like a line and you're cloning on a line, it's easy to notice. But what you want to do is you always pick a different target to cover the blemish.
So again, first time you click to set your target, and then you click to basically use the clone tool. Yeah.
So I'll apply this. So what you do is where is it? Clone. First thing you have to do is pick your target. So this is where I want to be able to copy. Let's say from here, I apply it. And then this is my brush now. This will tell you we're going to copy it from here, and then it will follow you. Like that. Okay, I'm not going to go too far in this, but I'll show you, I'll fix this one right here because that one is the most apparent. I'm going to adjust the brush size so it's smaller. There's another thing. There's a brush hardness, which is how soft and how hard we're going to clone whatever pattern that you pick. I do think it's better to use a softer brush, so keep the hardness at a lower, so that it's not copying exactly or cloning exactly the piece that you have. It's just going to be a soft pass. So here, I'm going to decide to pick this area to clone, to hide it here, and voila. So I'm not going to go any further. Already you can see the difference.
Yeah. Can you open an original photo of the guy? So
yeah.
Of Bruce.
Good old Bruce. So you can see these freckles are gone. This pimple is gone. This is much better in this area. This is a little bit softer. I hope you guys can see it.
If you can zoom in a little bit on the original face.
I wish I could, but I'm
okay.
used to a Mac computer. I really wish I could. If anybody knows, let me see. Hey, I figured it out. No, wait. Let me try again. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you can see all those. And other people are also saying that you can see the differences.
Yeah, just don't go too far, because you really have those bad Photoshop photoshopped pictures you see online. The idea is subtlety. Now, there's a way here, all right, because no one's skin is perfect, and he's not a supermodel. We're talking about, at this point for me, it's making small edits to pictures of your family and whatnot. On a more professional, you should take the time to use this tool and even kind of research a bit, even practice. But here, what I found was practical is the, let's see, Bruce needs a tan, because he looks a bit white in my opinion. Let's see, that's not the wrinkle remover. Actually, I'll have fun, I'll show this very quickly. So I'm gonna give him a tan. I'm not gonna put a huge strength on it. I'm gonna use a big brush that can do some quick. So let's see, boom. So you're not gonna see it much just yet, but you can see he has a bit of a tan. And this is gonna help with some of the red spots. So you're not gonna see those as much. And once you actually apply the brush, you can actually come in, not have to redo the job. You can actually just adjust it so that it's stronger. See? It's a bit too strong here, but I can bring it back down a little bit. So if you look at the picture now.
Some people are mentioning real quick that you can use the before and after frame to see the differences. That's true. We don't, for the purpose of this recording, we just want to go over, what you can do. That's why we didn't pick the frame from the beginning, so that's why we can't show it this way. But we know, yes, obviously you can do that.
Okay. Some other cool, very quickly, wrinkle remover. This might be a bit freaky, but you can remove wrinkles. But again, just be careful. It has to feel like it's not forced. Yeah. So you can do that. Like his eyes seems a bit saggy. Let's remove this wrinkle. That looks not so bad actually. I'll cancel that. You can give him a blush. Let's give him a little bit of pink. Yeah, there you go. That's not so bad. Guys can have a bit of pink on their cheeks. And I don't have time for plastic surgery, and I think that's a little bit more fun. You can also play with the hair. So you can actually, one sec, where is it? The rest, there you go. The rest, highlights. No, one sec, I'll apply. Yeah, so you can pick hair color as well. So if you want it a little bit lighter, ta-da! It's a bit sloppy, but
yeah, you just have to take the time and make your brush smaller to not go over things.
Yeah, all you have to do is just make it smaller. So you can play with the hair as well. You can play with the eyes in terms of color, but I find his eyes are pretty good, so there's no point messing with that.
I will also say, and thank you for everybody who who's saying that who's saying thank you for the webinar. Some people are asking about some of the other complex tools and other uses for the clone tool, the burn tool, and like applying lipsticks and all other kinds of other stuff. Really happy to see so many questions. Obviously, we can't do all of this in a single webinar, but we are keeping a record of all your questions, and hopefully we can address them in future webinars where we can look into more of those tools that you're asking about currently. So thank you for asking about them.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like we should do another webinar. Yeah. Okay. I'm done, Kaptan, at least from what we have planned.
Cool. Well, again, thanks everybody, and thank you for all your questions as well. We do hope to make more of those webinars and go into more features, so we'll address some of those other things as well. The webinar has been recorded. We will save it and publish it and send a follow-up email to everybody so you can rewatch it. Some people have asked about that if you want to. So thank you, Jason, for all the help and all the tips.
It was great.
Thanks everybody who joined us for our first webinar. We had really nice attendance, and we look forward to seeing you again at a future one. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Until next time.